Hello tennis guys and welcome to my channel. So this topic, I wanted to talk about it so much, but I really didn't have the time, and to be honest, I didn't have the right spirit to talk about it. But now it is the time and we can discuss it together. So there is this coaching rule nowadays in a test, let's say version, in a test, in a testing mode that has been there from July 11th, and it will be there until, let's say, the end of this year. And it is very controversial. I need to say I don't agree with it at all. I think it's bad for the sport. But before I get into the details, I believe that it is very important to understand how this new coaching rule will work, if it will be applied officially on the ATP Tour, because it has been there on the WTA Tour, and now they are testing it on the ATP Tour. So guys, stay tuned.
I would never use an underarm serve if someone's standing on the baseline, because I think it's a stupid idea, you know, because they're going to track it down and it's easy to get. But if they stand, you know, 4 or 5 meters behind the baseline, then why would you not do that?
So how the new rule works. So there are few points that need to be met, so the coaching is really allowed. So let's go through all these points. So the coach must be in a designated seat. Yep, I agree with it. He must be placed on the court or near the court on a designated seat. He can't be anywhere, let's say, around the court. I believe this is perfectly okay, and there is nothing wrong with it at all. The next point: the coaching must not take place during an ongoing rally. So this is obvious. You can't coach your fella when he is hitting the ball. It will disturb also his opponent. So this is perfectly okay. Next point: verbal coaching is only allowed when a coach protege is on the same page as his supervisor. So I'm not sure why there is written same page. I think that there should be on the same side as his supervisor. So this is also perfectly okay, that you can't coach your player when he is on the opposite side. You can't just yell at him, or you can't, let's say, really show him any gestures, because he couldn't probably see them anyway. So this is also, let's say, very natural, although I don't agree with any of this at all. Next point: however, non-verbal signals may always be sent. Okay, so the non-verbal signals, oh, I was wrong in the previous point. So the non-verbal signals may always be sent, regardless the place on the court where your player is. Okay, if he can spot it, if he can see it, okay, why not? Why not? Next point: the coaching must be limited to brief instructions. No conversation is allowed with the player in question. So this point is crucial for the rule, and I believe this is the most controversial point from all the points, because what does it mean? What is a brief instruction? It's like you're saying to the player that he should play more cross, and that's it, or play more long line, or change the pace, or play higher balls, or can you tell him the whole, let's say, strategy in many sentences? Well, I don't know. What does it mean? What is a brief instruction? But the second part of this point is also very important. No conversation is allowed with the player in question. So it means that the player should only, let's say, listen to those ideas you are, or the coach is going to tell him. He can't answer, he can't question the coach like, what should I do now? What should I change? So there the coaching must come only from a coach. So I think this is a quite good point to actually a little bit limit the coaching only on one side, let's say only on one side, because if there is a whole conversation allowed, it would be really catastrophic, I would say, for the match and for the atmosphere, because then the players could really rely only on the coaches, and I think this is overall is wrong and very damaging for the sport. And the last point, if a player leaves the court, the coach is not allowed to contact him. So this is okay. This is also perfectly okay. We know that there have been some controversy when, for example, Tsitsipas left the court, and some people said that he left the court with a mobile phone, and he was sitting on his toilet break, and he received some coaching, on the mobile phone from his coach. So this is obviously not allowed, and I agree with it. So there you have the points, but let's head back to the main topic. So what is your opinion on the coaching? So my opinion is that tennis is an individual sport. It has always been like that. It's one of those hardest sports on the planet because of the mental toughness. Not only the physical toughness, but also the mental toughness. So you are, when we are speaking about singles, you are alone on the court. You get prepared, you have your tactics, but you are alone. And during the match, you need to figure out all the stuff, everything, how to play, what to change, how to be better, how to get in the best position, and how to play the important points. And that's the beauty of tennis. That's what drives people really crazy. That's what is really also for me as a long-time tennis player, what's always so intriguing and what's always so fascinating, seeing these pros in the most critical situations, in the, let's say, the crunch point, the crunch time, the crunch points. They play their best in the most difficult situation, and that's where the tennis sensation and the tennis spirit shines, and that's what makes the sport so really fascinating. So if you take all of this away, if you allow some person who is watching the match and has all the info, let's say, and has the ability to process the info and help this player who is lost during the match, and help this player to change the pace, to change tactics, to really, let's say, change the rules, how he plays, then I believe it's cheating. It's literally cheating, and it doesn't have anything to do with the tennis as we know it. And one more thing, if they allow coaching, then you can't, in the future, you can't compare any of these new young players with the previous generations. You can't compare them with Nadal, with Federer, with Djokovic, who were alone on the court, and they achieved so much. So imagine that in the near future, let's say in 10 years, there will be this rule, and Alcaraz managed to, let's say, win 25 Grand Slams in next 10 years, for example. So that's like 2 Grand Slams in every season, or 2 or 3 Grand Slams in every season. So how can you compare the player with the player from the previous generation or 2 generations who did the same but without coaching? That's so unfair. That's so unfair. So I believe that that's my personal opinion, that allowing coaching should be allowed only, let's say, on the juniors level, let's say, where the players are still developing, but not on the pro level, on the adult level, because when you are, let's say, 20, 25, you should probably know how to play tennis. You should figure it out for yourself, how to change the pace, how to change the tactics, how to win the match. It's like chess. It's like literally we were taught, and I feel that tennis, when we are talking about singles, it's chess. It's a chess on a tennis court. So if you have 2 chess players and a coach, then it would ruin the experience, because then the coach sees every detail and can help you immensely. And then when you win the match, it's because of your skills or of the coach's skills. So that's I feel like this can really damage the sport drastically, and it can drive the pure fans of the sport away from the sport. So I know there were some experiments. I think the coaching can be in some way implemented, like, let's say, after every set you could probably talk to your coach after one set. Okay, when you lose the set, okay, there is this opportunity. You have like 2 minutes during the side exchange, and then you can talk to your coach. I feel like it would be necessary to also integrate like headphones and talking to your player through the headphones, and every other viewer can, or every other a person who watches the match could hear the coaching, so the match can be somehow also interesting for the viewer. I think that this was already implemented on some of the tournaments, on the I'm not sure what was that, but on the experimental tournaments also, where they experimented with the scoring system, with the shorter scoring system until four games. So yeah, in some way maybe the coaching can be allowed, but not in this extensive way, like during the whole match, using gestures and whatever. So to finish this topic, so there are opinions to allow the coaching, not to allow the coaching. One of the most, let's say, pro voters who are agreeing with the coaching is Patrick Mouratoglou. So I don't like this guy. I need to be honest. I don't like Patrick Mouratoglou. I know that he is probably a great coach. He achieved many things, but from what I've also heard from other people, he achieved some things in his career through really going against, let's say, against some of the rules, and he isn't afraid to use anything to help, let's say, those players shine. So I believe Patrick Mouratoglou is actually a very controversial person, and we know that there are also other people who are saying that he is somehow using let's say this way, like black magic when he's creating those stars like Serena Williams, etc. That he is He's really doing it in some way against the rules. So yeah, smart guy, but maybe too smart. So he said that the coaching has been there at almost every match for decades anyway. So why not to allow it? And I'm like, what? This comes from a high-profile tennis coach who's saying that coaching was there always. Well, if you spot coaching, you should say something. If you spot coaching, it's wrong. It wasn't allowed. So why you say it's normal? It's not normal. It's not okay. It wasn't okay, and it's not okay. So next, what he said: congratulations to the ATP for legalizing a practice that has been going on at almost every match for decades. No more hypocrisy. Man, if I was a referee and I spot coaching, I would definitely say that's wrong. Don't do this. Okay, so maybe he's telling us that I was coaching. I did coaching through during the matches too. So allow it, because I was doing it too. So that's wrong. That's wrong. I don't agree with it at all. And the Australian commentator and tennis legend Todd Woodbridge replied, "This is so disappointing to see that such a high-profile coach blatantly admits that he has broken the rules of our sport for so long." Yeah, exactly. I agree with him. That's really bad. That's really bad that one of the best coaches really agrees with this, with breaking the rules, because, well, they were doing it anyway, so allow it. Okay, so we know that these guys were using doping, so allow it anyway. They were doing it, so allow it. So this is wrong. This is not good. This will not help the sport. This can help only some people, but not the sport as a whole. Because I believe there are still there are many or probably more coaches that are against the rule, really. That are against the rule. So, yeah. Tennis writer from New York Times, Christopher Clarey, call it a sad day for tennis. Australian Tennis Hall of Fame member David Hall added, "The beauty of tennis," and that's exactly what I'm talking about. The beauty of tennis was that you had to work your opponent out for yourself. One-on-one battle. This 6-month off-court coaching trial on ATP Tour strips it away for no good reason. Exactly, one-on-one battle. No, let's say, no interference from the people outside of the match. So to end this topic, the trial will run through the season-ending ATP Finals in Turin in November. The ATP announcement brings the men's tour into alignment with the women's WTA Tour, which already has an off-court coaching trial in place. So tell me, guys, what do you think about this? So tennis has been always such a traditional sport in many ways. We know that Hawkeye changed the pace a little bit, but I would say at the end of the day it helped tennis because it brought, let's say, justice to the sport. That's okay, but this coaching rule, this would actually bring injustice to the sport. Okay, I believe, and it would ruin the experience, because at the end of the day you will never know who won the match. Was it the player or was it the coach? And that's really for me, it's really a sad, it would be a very sad day for me if they allow coaching. Really, it would be kind of a rest in peace for me of the professional tennis, because it would completely change the nature of the sport. Too much. It would change the nature of the sport too much. So guys, and that there is the info that the various coaching rules have been trialed across tennis in recent years, including on-court coaching and coaching via headsets. Okay, I was talking about it. So maybe allow coaching, 1 minute coaching after each set. Well, maybe just allow like 2-3 sentences from the coach, 1 minute, and that's it. Maybe, but I'm saying maybe if, but overall I'm against any type of coaching during a match in professional men's and women's tennis tour. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this rule? Should ATP and WTA allow coaching during the match, or should they just stay away from this and leave tennis as an individual only sport when we are talking about really playing on the court? So yeah, you should prepare before the match for the match. You can't prepare for the match during the match. Okay, it's already in process. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment, share the video. If you want to subscribe. If you are new to this channel, if you want to support my channel, just buy me a coffee. The link is below in the platform. You can become a member of the Buy Me a Coffee platform, and this will help me very much to continue making these videos. And of course, you can buy some of the merch, some of the t-shirts I've created with Serena Williams and Roger Federer on the front of the t-shirt as a beautiful artwork. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Play tennis, enjoy tennis every time, every day, and don't forget to enjoy the new Velbity, guys. Bye.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious. That ball was on the line.